Throughout their relationship, they have given the public insight into their lives together. Some of the details are unsettling. Continue reading to find out the strange facets of their marriage. They are both workaholics. Ivanka and Jared are no strangers to high-powered jobs. Ivanka runs her own company, while Jared is a real estate developer, media mogul, and senior advisor to his father-in-law, President Donald Trump. "I'm happy for him when he is in the office working late," Ivanka told New York Magazine of her husband. "I know how good that feels when you sit down and return emails." Hint: the reason for their relationship is not very romantic. Their marriage is a business deal. Both Ivanka and Jared refer to their relationship as a business deal. It's a punchline for the pair when they go out with the friends who introduced them. "They very innocently set us up thinking that our only interest in one another would be transactional," Ivanka told Vogue. "Whenever we see them we're like, the best deal we ever made." Hint: Ivanka's the CEO of their home. They hold business roles at home. In an interview with Vogue, Jared discussed his home life with Ivanka. "I would say she is definitely the CEO of our household, whereas I'm more on the board of directors," Jared said. Jared choosing to compare he and Ivanka's roles in business terms is unusual for other married couples, but not Ivanka and Jared. As the two are workaholics, this comparison makes sense. Hint: Ivanka planned her wedding by herself. Jared didn't help plan the wedding. When asked about Jared's role in wedding planning by brides, here's what Ivanka said. "He put so much time and effort into designing the most perfect ring for me. I think he is now enjoying taking a back seat as I handle the rest." So, Jared's role in wedding planning was, he had no role. Hint: their wedding invitation promoted a Trump golf course. Allegedly, their wedding invite included a promotion. Supposedly a Trump golf course promotion went out in the mail to Ivanka and Jared's wedding guests along with the invitation. Page 6 described the invitation as having a flyer inside for Donald's other golf properties. An insert offered guests a free round of golf at one of Mr. Trump's courses, the New York Times said. Ivanka denied the claims, saying my wedding was a private, perfect occasion, the memories from which I will treasure for a lifetime. Hint: Jared doesn't like holding hands. Ivanka tried to grab Jared's hand during their wedding. Another awkward wedding-related occurrence happened during the ceremony. During the ceremony, the bride kept trying to take the groom's hand, Page 6 said. Imagine trying to hold your significant other's hand during your wedding ceremony and they won't take your hand. The incident would be awkward, humiliating, and cold-hearted to say the least. Hint: Ivanka and Jared look at real estate on dates. Date nights involve work. Jared and Ivanka's date nights usually involve work. My husband's idea of a date night somehow always involves me looking at a development site, Ivanka told Vogue. Ivanka gives an example. I find myself standing on the roof of the Whole Foods in Gowanus in the pouring rain. At midnight. And he's showing me this giant site he just bought. I'm like, huh? So this is why you chose that restaurant. Next, the most fascinating things about Ivanka and Jared. Ivanka and Jared have a secret talent. We know Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump can handle real estate and business ventures. But we did not know they successfully set up 7 couples. In an interview with Sean Hannity on Fox News, Ivanka said, people don't realize it's our hidden skill. We see how our friends' strengths, passions, and personalities align, and we love helping the people we care about find happiness. Bonus points for Ivanka and Jared. None of the love connections have resulted in divorce yet. Next is Ivanka's Beauty 100 Natural. Ivanka's beauty may not be natural. Many media outlets suggest Ivanka looks too perfect. Michelle Villett of Beauty editor notes a teenage Ivanka's model-esque eyebrows and cute nose with a little bump on the bridge. She believes Ivanka's entire face changes in 2005 when her nose suddenly and permanently looks much narrower sans bump. When Ivanka attended the Golden Globes in 2007, her chest was notably larger, obviously fake, and too large for her frame. Villett concluded, I couldn't find any plastic surgeons who've gone on record, but I say a boob job and at least one rhinoplasty for sure. I'm guessing she has started to dabble in Botox, too. Since her father's presidential campaign, Ivanka has inspired many women to emulate her through plastic surgery, too. Next, Ivanka and Jared briefly broke up because of this. Religion briefly broke up Ivanka and Jared. They may seem like the perfect couple, but Cosmopolitan reports Ivanka and Jared briefly broke up in 2008. Why? The contentious issue of religion. Ivanka stated, "One of the jokes I first started making when Jared and I first started dating is, I'm a New Yorker. I'm in real estate. I'm as close to Jewish, with an ish naturally, as anyone can start off." According to Cosmopolitan, Jared's mother apparently had a hand in the breakup. Despite parental disapproval, Jared and Ivanka didn't stay apart for long. Ivanka agreed to convert to Judaism, but even then there were lots of tough tests from her future father-in-law. Evidently, she passed. Next, Ivanka previously dated these two famous men. Ivanka dated Lance Armstrong and Topher Grace. Before she got married, Ivanka dated an interesting assortment of men. AOL reports she dated actor Topher Grace in 2006. In fact, she celebrated her 25th birthday with him at a Las Vegas nightclub. Friends Chelsea Handler and Adam Levine also attended. She also dated cyclist Lance Armstrong, whom she met at a charity event while she was in Los Angeles filming The Apprentice. While in college in 2001, Ivanka dated James Bingo Goodbelman, who was arrested 15 years later for being caught with cocaine. Ivanka appeared in Goodbelman's 2003 documentary Born Rich. Next, Jared is surprisingly similar to Donald Trump. Jared is surprisingly similar to Donald Trump. According to New York Magazine, Trump and Kushner have more in common than surface appearances might suggest. That might surprise you, especially if you consider Jared Kushner's soft-spoken manner contrasted with Trump's loudmouth reputation. But they are both bridgy and tunnel guys. Trump is from Queens, Kushner from Livingston, New Jersey, who made their names in Manhattan and lived through tumultuous periods of tabloid fire and financial adversity, the publication points out. As a developer, Trump took big risks in the 1980s and faced bankruptcy in the 1990s. Kushner took big risks before the 2008 financial crash and flirted with losing his family's flagship building, 666 Fifth Avenue. Both came back. Plus, Kushner and Trump share a clannish outlook on life, business, and politics. And, according to a report from the New York Times, Donald Trump even sees in Mr. Kushner a younger version of himself. Next, here's how Jared supported Hillary Clinton. Jared donated tens of thousands of dollars to Democratic campaigns. Forbes reports Charles Kushner was a big supporter of Democrats. And Jared largely followed suit, with more than $60,000 to Democratic committees and $11,000 to Clinton. But those amounts pale compared to the amounts Charles Kushner donated. The elder Kushner gave $1 million to the Democratic National Committee in 2002. And he donated $90,000 to Hillary Clinton's 2000 Senate run. Time explains Charles Kushner's donations demonstrated an appetite for more than approval of building projects or favorite causes like Israel. Next, Jared used Moneyball to describe his campaign strategy. Jared describes his campaign strategy as playing Moneyball. In a rare interview with Forbes, Jared Kushner shared some words about the campaign strategy he used to land his father-in-law in the Oval Office. After Donald Trump secured the GOP nomination, Jared Kushner took over the campaign's data efforts. He focused on maximizing the return for every dollar the campaign spent. As he tells Forbes, "We played Moneyball, asking ourselves which states will get the best ROI for the electoral vote. I asked, how can we get Trump's message to that consumer for the least amount of cost?" As Forbes explains, soon the data operation dictated every campaign decision: travel, fundraising, advertising, rally locations, even the topics of the speeches. Next, Jared and Ivanka now share this religion. Jared and Ivanka are observant Orthodox Jews. Jared Kushner grew up in an environment structured around family and faith. He grew up with 3 siblings in a Jewish home in Livingston, New Jersey. And he went to a private Jewish high school, the Frisch School, a co-ed Orthodox yeshiva in Paramus. Religion plays an important role in the Kushner family. And that explains why Ivanka Trump converted prior to marrying him. As Vogue learned, both Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump are observant Orthodox Jews. "We observe the Sabbath," Ivanka told the magazine. "From Friday to Saturday we don't do anything but hang out with one another. We don't make phone calls." And Jared explained of Ivanka, she said, "If we're going to do Shabbos, I'm going to cook." She never cooked before in her life and became a great cook. "So for Friday, she'll make dinner for just the two of us, and we turn our phones off for 25 hours. Next, his family chose a new state. Jared's family followed his lead to become New Yorkers. Time reports after his 2006 release from prison, Charles Kushner worked down the hall from his son. And the elder Kushner followed the younger one's lead. Charles Kushner became both a participant and a beneficiary of the course the company now set unloading its New Jersey holdings and crossing the Hudson to make its mark in New York City. As the magazine explains, along the way, the Kushners became certified New Yorkers. Jared Kushner's parents moved to the Upper East Side of Manhattan. And Jared made himself at home in establishment circles like the Partnership for New York City, started a real estate version of The Observer with its own Power 100 Awards dinner and, at a business lunch in 2007, met Ivanka. Next, Jared's family isn't afraid to pull some strings. Jared attended Harvard, with a little help from his father. Jared Kushner got his undergraduate education at Harvard University, one of the most highly regarded institutions of higher learning in the United States. But he apparently didn't gain admission the traditional way. Time reports that in 1998, his father, Charles Kushner, pledged $2.5 million to Harvard. A counselor at Jared Kushner's prep school said his grades and test scores wouldn't merit his letter of acceptance. Forbes notes a 2006 book about college admissions singled out Jared Kushner as a prime example of how children of wealthy donors get preferential treatment. However, administrators quoted in the book Daniel Golden's The Price of Admission later challenged its accuracy. And regardless of how he got in, he enrolled, majored in government, and graduated with honors. After Harvard, he attended New York University, where he earned a joint JD and MBA. Next, the Kushner family's identity is rooted in a tragic story. Jared's grandparents were immigrants and Holocaust survivors. New York Magazine reports Jared Kushner's grandparents have an almost unimaginably difficult immigrant story. In fact, that story and the resistance it symbolizes has become central to the Kushner family identity. Jared Kushner's grandparents were both Holocaust survivors who arrived in the United States after World War II. His grandfather, Joseph Kushner, worked as a carpenter. And Joseph Kushner was the first in the family to enter the real estate business. According to The Real Deal, Joseph Kushner worked on construction sites in New York. Then, his fear of heights took him to New Jersey, where the buildings were shorter. Joseph Kushner established his own construction company. And Charles Kushner turned that foundation into a real estate business that eventually owned an empire of homes and offices. Jared's grandmother was a founder of the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. And the family continues to back the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Next, the beginning of his real estate career involved wearing many hats. Jared started buying buildings when he was in college. The Real Deal reports Jared Kushner started acquiring his own buildings while still attending college. He began buying small, multi-family buildings in Somerville, Massachusetts. On his first deal, his father put up half the cash and Kushner raised the remainder from family friends. Jared Kushner recalls, "I'd be in class, and I'd get a call about a broken toilet and have to go work with a super at one of my buildings. The funniest part was, I didn't have a car, so I'd have my contractor, who was this 6'5" Guatemalan guy named Nelson, pick me up at my dorm in his Dodge Ram pickup truck and take me to the jobs. We would go in, and I'd be saying to him, 'Why is this taking so long? It's gotta